The end of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Welcome to Ranger Reviews, a web series we look at episodes of the TV show Power Rangers and then discuss them. Today we're exploring the 145th and final episode of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, as well as the 33rd episode of Season 3 titled Rangers in Reverse. We start this episode off at the youth center where Rocky, Tommy, and Billy are moving bananas for Ernie, which sounds like an innuendo, but it's actually not. Aisha and Adam come in and they ask about Kat, and turns out they're all meeting secretly about her. Imagine this was the moment that the five of them decided to talk about how they just don't think that things are working out with her as the Pink Ranger. Actually, apparently tomorrow is Kat's birthday, which they only know because Rocky helped her fill out forms for when she enrolled at school, insinuating that Kat either can't read very well or she has no idea how forms work. Aisha says that they're going to plan a surprise party, and Tommy says that they have the perfect idea. On the moon, Rita says that Master Vile has the perfect plan to release the ultimate force of evil. Zed demands to know where he's been since he's around, and Rita alludes that it will all happen very soon. Cut to Master Vile squawking in a moon cave, while blue and yellow energy eel effects are around him, and the dirt starts to separate. This is causing a massive moonquake, and the villains are freaking out. Zed then gets a good line in, asking Rita if any more of her relatives are planning on visiting. In the command center, Alpha is struggling to figure something out, and he complains that Zordon has been gone for some time. And then Zordon just slowly rolls up his tube, talking about how he knows how something awful is afoot, and he says that he was examining it in his private chamber. What? Zordon has a private chamber? Then we see a giant carnival, and Kat is blindfolded, and she's like, "Oh my god, where are we?" As if she can't hear everything. Also, Bulk and Skull are writing parking tickets, and they laugh at some guy who they give a parking ticket to, and it's Stone. Then Kat sees the carnival, and I'm almost positive that this is the same stock footage that they used in No Clowning Around like 3 years ago. Kat says that she feels so lucky to be friends with them, and they walk in. Then Stone tells Bulk and Skull that he took a day off to get away from them, which is super harsh, but then he says that they're making his life a living oh never mind, which is, I think, probably the first time we've insinuated that a character is swearing on this show. Except for that one time Tommy lost it over the word underwear. Then Stone gets in his car leaving, blowing exhaust all over Bulk and Skull, giving them Don King hair as they go on a break. Master Vile then talks to the villains, telling them to stand back because the sphere he's holding has the power to destroy the entire planet and all of life in the galaxy. The Orb of Doom. What a lame-ass name. He shows it off to the villains and he explains that when it's placed properly on Earth, the planet will stop spinning and then reverse time somehow. Whatever, yeah, we're turning the Rangers into children again. And a nice nod to continuity, Zed brings up how they did this once and it failed, and Vile basically tells them they didn't succeed because it was Zed's work. He then gives the orb to Rito to place it on Earth. At the carnival, everyone is going down slides and weird-ass Dutch angles. Then they get beat by Zordon, being told to come to the command center. Zordon tells them about the Orb of Doom and exactly what it can do, just in case you forgot in the last 60 seconds. Since Zordon knows the exact location of where it needs to be placed, Billy suggests that they go and stop it from getting placed there. Alpha gives them the coordinates via printout after the alarms start going off about Rito. So, it's morphin' time. All six appear by Rito, who is standing around with the orb. Rito calls out Tangas. I mean, lots of Tangas. But then the Tangas head toward the carnival, so the Rangers split up. And Goldar appears next to Rito, saying that he's going to join in. After they talk smack for what feels like a solid 3 minutes, we finally get some Ranger action, and Rocky almost gets the orb, but then he fails. Then Blue, Black, and Yellow stop the Tangas from getting to the carnival, and they fight them in a parking lot. And I have to admit, it's nice to see them actually be realistic, that there are cars parked there. This fight also lasts for like ever before Billy says that they need more protection, so he and Adam put on their metallic armor before Aisha does as well. I have to admit, the Yellow Ranger in metallic armor is a sexy look. Now they're getting better at fighting the Tangas. I guess they're still on a high from whatever they ate last time. Meanwhile, Rocky is still losing before Tommy runs after Rito, and he and Kat get held back by Tangas, and then Rocky gets taken by them too. Rito is clearly lost on where exactly to put the damn orb, so he ends up just saying screw it, planting it on the ground. A light fires up into the sky and everything shakes. The villains bail and Tommy tries to get the orb, but he's zapped onto the ground. They decide to regroup with the others. They have just finished off the Tangas when they also feel the earthquake, and Billy makes the only logical assumption that the others definitely failed. On the moon, Vile congratulates Rito on doing something right, and then Goldar makes some smartass comment about it, so Master Vile puts a muzzle on Goldar. Then Vile starts to call forth the power of the Orb of Doom, and Zed is pretty defeated about this working at all. At the carnival, lightning is streaking across the sky and the teens consider leaving to the command center, but they don't want to leave everyone there. Then Vile casts a last bit of a spell and the Orb of Doom explodes, causing everything to slow to a halt at the carnival, which doesn't make sense. Then he makes the earth spin backwards and suddenly, through yet another Superman logic plot, everyone is turning into children, including the Rangers. Thankfully, everyone is pretty much the exact same actors from last time, but obviously Kat's actress is struggling because she has to use an Australian accent, and this girl is clearly not Australian. Everyone runs in panic, screaming, and points out that Rita, Zed, Rito, and Goldar are on a hill. The Ranger teens remember that they're the Power Rangers this time, though, for some reason, and they attempt to morph, but nothing happens. Then Rita and Zed cross their stabs, making the four of them grow giant. Alpha says that they're losing power and he can't find the Power Rangers, and Zordon says that in the present state, it's as if their journey together never happened. Meanwhile, more children are screaming and running. Billy says that they've been defeated, and Tommy tries to tell them that they can't give up, and we see literally children crying. The end of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Over the credits, we get an extended scene of Zed and the others growing giant. Huh. So that was a super dark ending for the show, huh? It's actually a really good one too, to be honest. I mean, it's a true cliffhanger where you have no idea what the hell is going to happen next because, well, everyone is a damn child now and they can't do much because they don't even have their powers. And while it was a tiny bit padded out with gratuitous fighting sequences, it's not like the fight scenes weren't good. I will say though that I wish they hadn't turned to children once again because these child actors either aren't good or are being directed terribly. But I understand why, because this was essentially the time that they gave the main cast a true vacation for once in their lives. Normally this is the part where I'd say that we're going to be doing an overview of Season 3 overall in the next episode, but I'm actually going to join it up with what I'd call Season 3.5, a mini-series that immediately follows this season. So fret not, while the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers are no more, there is definitely hope on the horizon for our heroes. So with all that being said, until next time, may the power protect you.